questions, concerns?
So, Tom, I have a question on
Yeah.
the oxytocin memory. When you're doing that, are you just recalling the memory, or are you reliving the memory, if that makes sense?
Well, if you're reliving it, I think you're better off because you're making it more real.
The reason I ask is because one of my oxytocin releasing memories that I use is I was somewhat recently engaged. So I recall that memory, but when I recall it, I'm not, thinking about it and thinking about the words that I said back then, but almost reproposing in my mind.
Uh-huh.
And like visualizing getting down on one knee and pulling out the
Uh-huh.
ring and, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera. So
Yeah.
it's not that I'm not really recalling a memory, but almost reliving it in a different fashion.
Yeah.
And it
Okay.
seems to be really working for me. I just wanted to
Well,
make
yeah.
sure that
Oh,
that
yeah.
was an
Oh,
appropriate way to tackle it.
yeah. Now, but keep in mind, that's not necessarily oxytocin because, going back, 30 years, what was evident was that there were two particular things that helped. One was nursing a child, and the other was getting engaged or saying wedding vows. It was pretty quick that I realized what the nursing was all about because Sue Carter had discovered that when the mother nurses a child, she produces oxytocin, and oxytocin shuts the fear system down. But why was this other thing? Wedding vows, getting engaged. Why was that important to do calming? It turns out, it might produce oxytocin, but what I believe it mainly does is it activates the calming system because if you go back to that question, do you have a friend who accepts you completely, who doesn't judge you? Well, look, at the moment you're getting engaged, the person you're with is accepting you completely.
Hmm.
Or when you're saying wedding vows, the person is accepting you completely. That may change in 6 hours or 6 minutes or 6 days or 6 months, but you know, and then because then you have, when you're with a person enough, then you start finding other things that you don't really think are just as good as what you originally thought. But hopefully that becomes part of the whole package. You're okay with it. But at least in those initial moments of getting engaged in wedding vows, that's when you have this complete acceptance and it comes across completely. And that's what activates the calming system. It may also cause oxytocin.
Gotcha. So you're saying that might be more of a, even though I'm using that as a, quote unquote memory, that's more so, or it's having the effect of recalling a face, calming face.
Well, the calming face, the voice also, and touch or
Yeah.
body language.
Yeah.
That probably is in the braking pedal, the slowing down, the calming system. Um, but I'm sure there are situations that can do some of both. And I don't think it's a bad idea at all to use these situations that you've said. I think this is a good one. But in addition, look for a specialized oxytocin producing moment and look for a specialized parasympathetic nervous system moment where face, voice, and touch of a person who's completely accepting of you, not judgmental.
So all I know is when I used the engagement and then I used, a few people's faces,
Mm-hmm.
and touch and voice. And again, it had been years and years and years since I had flown. But when I flew last month, I was absolutely shocked how calm I was throughout the whole
Mm-hmm.
process from
Oh, it's
driving to the
amazing.
airport. There were moments, I had
Sure.
blips of, anxiety, but it was amazing how calm, and like I was just expecting to be, expecting the anxiety to start kicking in, and it just really never did for except for passing moments.
Well, yeah, I know. And it really is almost shocking to find that you're not having the stressful moments that you certainly expected you're going to have. And you get on the plane thinking this isn't going to work. You can't see how something like this could make any difference. And you get on the plane
Yeah.
and you wait to get zapped and get panicky and get really revved up, and you just keep waiting. And once in a while, you start to get the itch of it, maybe, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.